All right, I'm just going to do a quick little video. I was putting all my junk back together where I had it scattered out from the podcast the other night, the Livewell. And I decided I'm going to make me a box with old stuff in it, nothing but old stuff, and I'm going to fish it. Every time I go, I'm going to throw some of this stuff and see what I can catch on it. And when I catch it, I'll put a picture in the video on Fish North Georgia group page. So this is the box. This is everything that's in it. We got the 7A bomber that I talked about, showed it the other night. I'm going to catch some more fish on it. I did catch a 7.9 on it I think it was last December, but I'm going to keep on fishing it. The little flat Bagleys, B flat. I'm going to fish it some more. This is the one I said I found hanging from a cable over the lake at Lake Wise, and cut it down and tied it on and just caught the snot out of fish on it that day. This is the Smoo, the smaller version of the Smoo. There's one even littler than this, and then that great big one that I showed Thursday night on the Livewell. I found the stupid dancing eel. I'm going to give it a shot. It is nasty, nasty, nasty. Didn't used to look like that. It used to be kind of a pearl white when I bought it. But oh, and by the way, it's raining. This is a couple of some flat A's that I beat the paint off of, or wore the paint off of. So I did a little repaint on them. I'm going to try to use them. This here, this is a Mini R, a Rebel Mini R. This is a Rebel Maxi R. I think I showed it Thursday night. And this is a little Rebel Humpy. Here we have a man's 1-, a man's mid 1-, and this goofy looking thing, I had forgotten about it. I wish I'd have brought it, because it's called a Rebel Black Star. I call it Darth Vader's stepchild. I got this thing, I know, around 1985. Never caught a fish on it. Threw it a few times, but kind of gave up on it. But I'm gonna catch a fish on this thing this year, or I'm gonna die trying. These are the Super R's. I used this one last week and caught fish on it. Like I said, I upgraded the hooks finally, but the one I used last week still had the old stock hooks on it. This one here. This is my favorite crankbait in the world. My little flat A bomber and silver flash, deep flat A. Over 100 bass, over 5 pounds. Biggest one like 9.2. I foul hooked a 33-pound flathead in the head with this thing a few years ago and caught it. I caught a walleye that weighed almost 6 pounds on it. I took it to the Tennessee River one day with a guy to try to catch some smallmouth, and I hooked into what I thought was a trophy smallmouth. And I fought it, and I got it up towards the top enough where I could see a big brown side, and I got all excited then. I got it in, and it was a big ass drum. God, it broke my heart. Okay, more 7A bombers. A couple of square bills I got from a guy in Arkansas. There's a real Rebel We Are, the shallow version, the square bill. And somebody on Thursday night asked me what new age in lures that I had bought. This is the square bill that I love from Academy, $4.49. I've already caught 2 over 8 on it, a couple of 7. I caught a bunch of big fish on this thing. $4.49. And I recently saw somebody trying to sell a square bill for 20 bucks. I thought, no, that's just wrong. That ought to be illegal. I also said that I like the Rapala OG. I bought some of them. And this is them. I do the red paint, upsize the front hook, and put an oval split ring on them. I do that before I fish them. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, while I'm sitting here right on top of these rods, I'm going to go ahead and, these are my setups. Some of my setups for things that I throw. This is my setup for King Kong. That's King Kong, that's a repaint. Caught a bunch of big fish on this thing this year. Fishing on an old 5500C. Reel's 40 years old if it's a day. 4.7 to 1. I got 65 pound Power Pro on it. Green. And I'm fishing it on, this rod is probably 20 years old if it's a day. It's an old Shimano Compre. There's the model number. 8 foot. Heavy power, fast action. Man, this thing is one of the best rods I've ever used. And I have never, other than some of the Shimanos I bought, 3 Shimanos reels that I bought, other than them, I've never given more than $150 for a reel or $130, $140 for a rod, period. And never more than $30 for a lure. So the idea that you gotta have really high-end, crazy, expensive tackle to catch fish, it's a bunch of bull. All right, this is, I should have brought this thing, this crazy snake lure. It's a foot long, weighs about almost 2 ounces, and it has got the most insane action you'll ever see. It looks more like a snake than a snake. I've got it on a St. Croix Mojo Bass MJC 710 HF, 7'10", heavy power, fast action. It'll handle up to a 4 ounce lure. I throw a ton of things on this. I throw some of my big top waters. I throw my big heavy spinner baits on it. I throw that big 7-inch spook looking thing on it. I throw some big crankbaits on it. There's some other stuff I throw on it too, but I can't recall what they are right now. But I've got like 6 or 7 of these. God, they're awesome rods. All right. Let's see what else we got. We've got, okay, this is my another St. Croix Mojo. Same setup, 5500C. Same rod, 65 pound braid, and that's the big spinner bait. 2 1/4 ounces, over 400 fish over 5 pounds on that spinner bait. This line, P-Line has come out with a braid. It's slick for one thing, but they also say that it will not fade. And that's my big beef with Power Pro, is that it fades, and I have to keep coloring it after a while. They say this won't fade. We'll be finding out. If it holds up and it's legit, I'll switch over to it completely, and that'll be the end of the Power Pro. Nothing wrong with Power Pro other than I don't like that fading junk. What else we got? All right, we got like 2 more rods to go through. I think 2 more, we'll see. This is my rod that I throw my flat A with. Shimano Chronarch. It's getting nasty out here. 12 pound P-Line, Chloroclear. The rod is a Cashin Icon. Got from the guys up at Fish North, Georgia. 7 foot, moderate fast, heavy action, 10 to 17 pound line, up to a 3/4 ounce lure. I love this rod. I love this reel, this whole setup. This is pretty much, and it's even called a crankbait rod, Icon, but it's perfect for this deal right here. Matter of fact, this rod is just pretty much dedicated to this lure, period. But yeah, I love it. If I got a problem with it, it's this grip right here. When it gets wet, oh my God, it is slick. So anyway, that's that. Let's see what else we got here. All right, we got this one. This is my spook rod, my whopper flopper rod, a smaller spinnerbait rod when I throw my my little mini-me's. This rod is pretty old. It's a Jimmy Houston Classic Series, 7-footer. A 25-pound line, 1-ounce lure. I call it a medium heavy. It's got a real fast tip on it. The Shimano Chronarch, 7.2 to 1. This is probably 40-pound braid. And like I say, my spook, my front runner. Rod, I know the rod's 20 years old. I think I got another one in my rod rack that's never been used before. When I like these so much that whenever I found them, I bought 3 or 4 of them. Again, never more than 100. Wow, saw that. 1, 2, there it is. Never more than $150 for a reel, other than 3 Chronarchs. They cost more than that. Never more than that. Never more than $140 for a rod. Never more than $30 for a lure. I can't repeat that enough. For these young guys thinking you got to have a combo that costs $1,000, that would be a negative. All right, and this is the last one. I talked about, and I think it kind of stuck with Kevin too. I had this back in 1987. My little Rebel crankbait that I like so much. It looks a supernatural bass. I don't think I got it where I can access it right now, but I showed it on the broadcast. Back in '87, I didn't have a lot of rods. There wasn't a lot of rod choice back then, so you had to make do with what you had. So I had a flipping stick, Kunan, K-U-N-A-N, and I put it on a 5500C with 12-pound line and caught a 9.5 and a 7-pound bass the same day on Altoona. This is the rod. I still have it. So this rod I've had since at least 1987. Right now I've got it set up with a spinnerbait that weighs about 1.5 ounces, but it's got a number 8 Colorado blade and a number 4 or 5 Colorado blade. Got it for fishing a little bit shallower water, but still got the big blades and the big thump. But the rod, the model, let me find the writing on it. Here we go. Kunan, K-U-N-N-A-N, Graphite Advantage. 7'6", medium heavy, up to 30-pound line, and it's collapsible. It's a flipping stick, but rod's still hanging in there. Let's see, 87. That's rod 35 years old, and again, still inexpensive. I think that's it. I think I finally got it all covered. Try to put my little OG back where it goes. Put my Academy square bill back where it goes. And I think you can see this is one of my main boxes. You can kind of see my color preferences. Like I said, everything is either like a chartreuse or flavors of bait fish, like a shad. Everything in there. If there's anything in there other than that, it's something somebody gave me or something I found. Or something I bought strictly for the body style, and I'm probably going to do a repaint. That little man's 15 plus right there, good Lord, that's a bad little lure. That one there, that green, that's the one I caught an 8.9 on Altoona on. And that funky right there, I just bought it. It's got some chartreuse on it, got a lot of glitter on it, so it should be all right. But that's one of my crankbait boxes, so you can see my color choices. It ain't complicated. Don't make it complicated. Don't listen to the hype. You don't need 40 colors in one lure. or a worm for that matter. Anyway, while the monsoon has let up, I'm going to run in, download this, and get it all put together. So, toodles.